We begin tonight at 6 p.m. with some developing news in Reading. A former high school hockey star found dead from a gunshot wound inside his home on Monday, and tonight police are now calling it a homicide. I'm Mark Ockerman.
And I'm Maria Stefanos. The district attorney's office made this announcement just a short time ago. Our Bob Ward live in Reading with the latest. What's going on, Bob?
Maria, Mark, the medical examiner has conducted an autopsy on the body of 22-year-old Joseph Ronan, and the findings confirm what many here in Reading already concluded, that this shooting death was no accident. It was a murder. Now, the body of Joseph Ronan was discovered after 1 o'clock Monday afternoon inside the family's home here in Reading at 3 Lawrence Road. A neighbor heard several shots, gunshots, called police, and by the time police arrived, Ronan was already dead, the victim of several gunshot wounds. All day Monday, the DA would only call this shooting death, quote, suspicious, pending the results of an autopsy. Today, the state medical examiner found that Joseph Ronan was the victim of multiple gunshot wounds and that this case is indeed a homicide. Joseph Ronan was 22 years old, neighbors describing him as a good kid who never got into any trouble. Ronan was a graduate of Reading High School, and we are told he was a star high school hockey player. And we're told that Ronan was just weeks away from attending basic training for the United States Marines. Now, earlier today, the Ronan family issued a very brief statement. It says in part, "Joe touched the lives of all those around him, and he will be deeply missed by our family and by all those who knew him." Tonight, the Middlesex County DA's office is not talking about suspects. We'll only say this case is under investigation. Maria, Mark?
Bob, unusual for this type of crime to happen in Reading, yet there is not a huge sense of urgency in the neighborhood. With your experience in covering crimes like this, what does that tell you about what might be going on here in terms of investigation?
Well, last night at about 10 o'clock, state police wrapped up their investigation of the murder scene, and I can show you live pictures of the house. It's that house right across the street with the purple shutters. Yesterday, that was in lockdown mode. The state police were out front, and they got their search warrant to go inside that house at about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon. They wrapped up their search of that house. About 10 o'clock is when they finally decamped out of there. And since then, today, we don't see the police out in the neighborhood. They're obviously analyzing the evidence that was seized from that house. The autopsy was performed on Ronan. But police are not talking about any possible suspects here. So that could mean one of two things. Either they have an idea who did this and they're working the case slowly, or the other side, they don't have any idea at all, no description. We just don't know at this stage, Mark. Very early in the investigation, happened 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Here we are, 6 o'clock tonight. So we're still very early in this investigation and only getting word that this is a homicide, not a suicide or an accidental shooting, but an actual homicide. So they're moving very slowly on this. Mark?
All right, Bob Ward in Reading tonight. We'll see you again at 6:30, Bob. Thank you.